Joshua has a big problem, and just like him, a lot of children are in the same situation. They suffer from childhood obesity.
Joshua Bryson, 14 years old, 132 kilo.
My name is Darwin. I am 16 years old and I am 130 kilo.
When I was small, I was in baseball. Then I stopped with baseball.
I cannot do gym because I got complications in my back.
Obesity is a disease caused by increased energy intake compared to energy expenditure. It causes increased risk of glucose tolerance, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, some types of cancer, breathing problems such as obstructive sleep apnea, liver disease, gastroesophageal reflux, and early puberty, amongst others.
Say that an illness is actually something that limits you to do something, then I would say yes, it could be compared to an illness since it limits you to be more active, it limits you to live a healthy lifestyle, and it limits you to be who you want to be. It takes away your energy.
Well, I think it's a big issue in today's society with less action and more television and video games and less exercise. Children, I think they get a taste for fat, sugar, and salt at an early age and not enough actions.
Obesity has a big impact on morbidity and mortality around the world. Childhood obesity is a condition where excess body fat negatively affects a child's health or well-being. This excess body fat causes joint problems, musculoskeletal discomfort, and orthopedic deformities, reduced physical activity, and distortion of body aesthetics, which can affect self-esteem, interpersonal relationships, and their social projection. The first problems to occur in obese children are usually emotional and psychological. Children that are obese are more likely to have low self-esteem and be at risk for lower educational attainment and increased likelihood of depression compared to those that are not obese. These social and psychological problems can continue into adulthood.
When my class got gym, I cannot do it.
Why?
Because my weight. I'm oversized and I cannot run and jump.
A child who is not physically or emotionally well, for instance, may have difficulties in leading an active lifestyle and therefore may be at higher risk for being obese. Childhood obesity is a major risk factor for obesity in adults due to the rising prevalence of obesity in children and its many adverse health effects. It is being recognized as a serious public health concern. From 144 countries, they found an estimated 42 million obese children under the age of 5 in the world, of which close to 35 million lived in developing countries. Additional findings included worldwide prevalence of childhood overweight and obesity increasing from 4.2% in 1990 to 6.7% in 2010 and expecting to rise to 9.1%, an estimated 60 million overweight and obese children in 2020. To the World Health Organization, overweight and obesity are the 5th leading risk factors for global deaths. Worldwide obesity has more than doubled since the 1980s. More than 1.5 billion adults are overweight, 200 million men and 300 million women are obese. In Aruba, we have the same problem. It may even be more dramatic.
My name is Visser. I'm 27 years old. And I weigh 154 kilos.
Jaritza is already obese, but does not acknowledge it as a disease.
I've never tried to lose weight because I always thought I was beautiful. I always got what I wanted, clothes fits me and everything. I became this overweight because I stopped playing softball, I stopped exercising, I went to Holland. I started eating unhealthy food when I was studying there.
Audrey has always had a normal weight. She started gaining weight after her first pregnancy 17 years ago. but did not do anything to stop it. Her daughter started gaining weight at the age of 10.
I'm Gianni Santiago. I'm 17 years old and I weigh 125 kilos.
When she turned 15, she began to get fat. She don't want to do nothing, no exercise, no, just eating. And that was the cause.
I was eating a lot of food that my grandma makes and also junk food. Not healthy food.
She don't want to go nowhere because she is fat. When I send her to do something, no, I can't do it. I'm tired.
Audrey also has a 7-year-old daughter now. She's not obese. Audrey is now aware that obesity is a disease and doing everything to prevent her 7-year-old daughter from becoming obese. Joshua, nephew of Jerisa, comes from a family where the majority of the members are overweight, from grandmother to mother, and now Joshua himself.
Different food on the street, buy junk food sometimes.
Parents do not typically consult growth charts to determine whether a child is overweight. Instead, they notice when their child becomes inactive or suffers from teasing by other children.
Sometimes when you walk on the street, some people see you strange or give sarcastic comments. Sometimes they call me, look that fat boy.
Every overweight person experiences bullying, I guess. I experienced it at school, but at school it never hurt me because I always thought I was a beautiful girl, a woman. I'm a beautiful independent woman. But now as a mother, it starts hurting me because it's going through my daughter, because my daughter ain't overweight, but I am overweight. And when I go pick her up at school, the kids, or 4-year-old kids, they don't know better, but they called me names, and my daughter starts feeling it. So in that scenario, I think it's not good for my daughter neither. She's a beautiful girl, and she don't have to carry it with her mother bullying.
It is important for parents to recognize that their child is overweight, to understand that obesity puts the child at risk for associated short-term and long-term health problems, and to provide healthy, balanced meals that will help those children lose weight. People ask me where my passion comes from, and I would have to go back to when I was 8 years old and I saw my father die of obesity-related causes. He had a heart attack. I decided then and there that this would never, ever happen to my kids.
I'm Alicia. I'm 15 years old and I'm 66 kilos.
Alicia is 15 years old, overweight, but she doesn't accept that this is a problem.
Actually, no. I don't get too much headaches or stomach aches. I feel bad because it's mostly a problem when you buy clothes because the size is too big sometimes. Or I don't wear the same size anymore as I used to do. When you don't eat right, when everybody stares at you because you're thick and not skinny.
Alicia's 3 other sisters are not overweight. Actually, when Alicia was younger, she was thin, just like her sisters. But it all happened in a short period of time. Fast food, soft drinks, and less activity caused Alicia to weigh 66 kilos. Almost 16 kilos of overweight.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
One study of preschool children and their low-income mothers found that only 1 in 5 parents of obese children recognize that their children are overweight.
As a child, I was obese. Nobody told me I was obese. I don't think I was perceived by my family as being obese because I was raised by my grandma, and she showed her love for me through food. So I would get a plate full of rice or potatoes or whatever, but always in excess.
The problems presented in recent years indicate that the interventions to modify the food industry, marketing, and laws with the purpose of reducing obesity should consider their potential impacts on society, economy, and real health benefits as well as feasibility. Recreational facilities, transportation, physical activity, traffic, insecure streets, and urbanization are associated to childhood obesity. Childhood obesity has negative effects on the quality of life. It has a direct economic impact, including rising healthcare costs and reduced productivity. Overweight, obesity kill more people than undernutrition. At least 2.8 million people die each year as a result of being overweight or obese. This is not only a healthcare problem, it's a developmental problem.
My whole family is overweight, and I don't think I want my daughter to go through what I've been through, because losing weight ain't like the battle. Now the battle is your whole life you have to struggle to control that weight.
Obesity involves multiple complex human functions and actions, such as eating habits, daily activities, food production, marketing, cultural and lifestyle influences. It is not surprising that there is no simple, direct solution to this problem, but the prevention of obesity is possible. It starts with a change of mindset. To be active and with a healthy, balanced diet and physical activity, we are able to create our own healthy lifestyle. Conditions that are perceived to limit moderate intense physical activities, such as hot weather all year round, lack of facilities, lack of transportation, and finances, play a role. Although these conditions are not sufficient to limit cultural habits, as dancing in the carnival, where people dance several hours for more than 5 kilometers all day, whole week long, it confirms that most important condition of all to have a successful physical activity is to have fun. A plan of ciclovias was designed and executed according to the principle to educate the population about the realization of walks, runs, dances, and other events that allow it to be active. An alliance of governmental and non-governmental institutions must be in charge of all activities.
You have to start as young as possible, so that's why I start with my child. I come to this activity to invite him, to introduce him to the physical activity that he can do, that he has a pleasure in doing it.
Well, what I do with my son, I have one son and a baby. I try to be very active with them. He's already in a sport. He's only 3 years old, but he's already in a sport, and I'm looking forward to put him in other sports, which is the organized sports. And what I try to do myself at home is being very active with them. We have a lot of toys at home, a lot of balls, bikes, and we try to be very active. Me and my husband, we are very active as well, so they see that. And with the food, we try to educate them honestly about the sugar that there is in the Coca-Cola and the chips and everything. So being very honest with them, what they're eating and what they're drinking, that's how we try to make sure that they become healthy citizens here in Aruba.
Special activities must be focused on children, allowing and teaching them to be active and maintain a healthy lifestyle. An example of such activity would be the Extreme Age Games.
Extreme Age Games really was an experiment that we've been doing for a couple of years to see what attracts kids. What are the biggest obstacles they have in doing, in moving, and what are we fighting against? We see that on one side it's marketing, mass marketing to kids, which needs to be banished. We really need to control that as governments. The other side is what motivates kids. We have a lot of ADD, we have a lot of complaints of teachers that kids can't pay attention more than 5 minutes in the classroom. But with a Nintendo game, a kid can go 1 hour and be totally focused. So what's the difference? Are they wrong or are we wrong? And I think it's us. instead of using pyramids as our food guide, or instead of using platos as they do all over the place, or a rainbow, etc., these are so esoteric. We've brought something new to the table, a sailboat. Kids can relate to a sailboat, pirate ship. It has 5 sails. What do these 5 sails mean? Well, from proteins to fats to carbohydrates to fruits and vegetables to water. They understand that. They see a living environment around the boat. On the beach, they see families exercising. So it's very easily explained that the energy that you lose with exercising and digestion, that balances out what you eat in the sails. And so around this concept, and this concept of how the environment also affects us, the sun, how we have to protect, and so there's a whole story built around this boat coming to shore. We can see the thing where kids really get it. And not only that, but this then boat becomes interactive. It becomes play. It becomes the Nintendo game or the Wii game where these kids actually captain the boat and have to learn about how they should eat, have to learn about how they should have to exercise, what they have to do, how they prepare stuff. And they can even go as far as fighting pirate ships that, you know, shoot oxidants, where these kids protect themselves with antioxidants and learn about this process. In that process, in that gaming scenario, these kids are able to, at school and on their own, learn the principles of healthy living in a way never before seen.
So then I made a bami goreng, which is real famous here in Aruba, but I made it with whole wheat pasta. Now this is just as cheap as the other pastas in the store, made from whole grain 100%, and it's good for you. Baby bok choy from Aruba. This cilantro from Aruba. This is Aruban spinach, green leafy veg. All this, one whole head of this Napa cabbage, $2 for a whole head. So you can make, all you need is a little rice, a little verdura. So I think it's better to get people out, get moving, and you know, I would like to make it easy for kids to eat right. You know, make it fast and easy and give them healthy choices. We have Napa, okay? We have baby bok choy. Remember, green leafy vegetables, they're the best. Okay, then I have some chicken that I sauteed, mushrooms, portobellos, onions. What else we got? Fresh, local spinach. All right. Okay, here we go. What else we got in here? What else? You want some cabbage? Napa cabbage. Everybody loves bami and nasi, right? But we're gonna make it healthy. Vegetable, whole wheat noodle, bami.
When you're thirsty, what needs to be the first thing you grab? Water. Very good. So when you're thirsty, drink water. If you look at the sailboat, you're going to see all this stuff on the sails. So the first sail is fats, and what could be considered fats. The oil of that is fish oil. That could be considered as fat. That's a very good fat. You have bad fats and you have good fats. That's a good fat. So that's one of the fats you need. We have fruits. We have vegetables. We have carbohydrates, which are these, and this, the muesli. And then we have the protein, which is the tuna. Right here also we have protein, which is the salmon. Here we got some more vegetables, green leaves, and we got yogurt in here, which is also very good dairy, very good fats. So we have a great combination of colors and great combination of foods right here that we need to consume a little bit of every day.
The solution for obesity is pretty simple. I know it's not easy for the person to do, but it's simple. It's just a change of lifestyle, change of way of eating, and start exercising, and then you start working on that, what they call disease.
School environment. In most countries, children spend a substantial portion of the day at school and often consume 1 to 2 meals there. They constitute, therefore, an ideal captive audience for nutrition education and healthy eating. Unfortunately, the same is valid for those seeking to sell unhealthy foods. Some food companies have targeted schools for promoting and selling their products and compete by offering cash compensation in exchange for exclusive access to schools. Data from several countries indicate that almost half of the increase in energy intake over the past decade came from calorie-enhanced drinks. Schools are a key component to build the environment around children. The main initiatives in this environment have been well defined and include providing healthy food options, introducing policy for exclusive healthy offerings in vending machines, restructure feeding programs to recognize the threat of excess weight and not just underweight, support physical activity throughout the day, assist teachers to include healthy lifestyles and healthy eating content in their curriculum. Settings where children gather should be free from all forms of marketing of food high in fats, sugar, and salt, or otherwise low in nutritional value. Governments should frame policies and provide incentives to encourage physical activity and healthy behavior at work. The workplace is an ideal venue to offer employees structured and planned activities to improve their health. Programs that are accessible, sustainable, and economical, and that include the whole family, can provide maximum health benefits for the employees and reduce the burden of poor health on employers. The living environment of infants and young children. The first year of life is of crucial importance to a healthy life. Breastfeeding is very important for the health and the prevention of obesity. Another important factor is the infrastructure. Supporting healthy physical environments include community designs that encourage physical activity. We need to work towards environmental conditions that allow cities to make physical activity part of everyday life. This means that there must be areas for transit vehicles as well as those who ride bicycles and pedestrians. To use the media to provide information and motivation to prevent childhood obesity. One of the casual factors of the problem of obesity is due to the work of mass media often serving the interests of the industry that go against the health of the consumers, especially children. It is preferable to use symbols such as the image of the healthy living to indicate foods that should be prioritized as part of a healthy diet. We must develop a strategy to make a law banning the advertising of unhealthy foods aimed at children through a process which involves all sectors. Prevention of obesity is a task involving individuals, families, communities, and governments alike, not to mention other important actors. It is not enough to create healthy environments if people do not know how to use them, and it is impossible to prevent obesity without a healthy environment. The idea of this bus, as you can see outside, is health promotion in reality and really chronic disease screening. So we're screening chronic diseases, in particular obesity and overweight. So this bus will go around the community. It will stand in different barrios for a couple of weeks and really at the same time gather information, do research, and at the same time screen the patients that come aboard, and when the screening is done, they will get a health promotion, how to live healthier, how to change their lifestyles, and that's the real kicker in this bus. Preventing the rise, development, and expansion of the epidemic of childhood obesity is now a formidable task for present and future generations.
I now give the floor to His Excellency Richard Visser, Minister for Health and Sport of Aruba, who will be speaking on behalf of the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
I have indicated to you
that we are in favor of pragmatic approach, given the differences of prevalence in the different countries. Given the cultural aspects of the 4 risk factors, a tailor-made approach is necessary. During the conference, strategies that can be applied to prevent obesity in the Americas were identified and presented in the Aruba Call to Action on Obesity, with special attention to childhood obesity. Joshua and Alicia, 2 young children. For their own sake, they must embrace this philosophy of healthy living now. Otherwise, life could be short, hard, and miserable. Together, we must find the switch and switch to a healthy lifestyle. It's critical. I think we are fighting this battle. We have to really identify where we fight this battle, on what playing field we fight it, and we have to fight it with everyone that you've heard of today, everyone that you've seen yesterday and the days before. It's going to take all of us and more people that weren't here. But I think, all the way from, the seeds from Madagascar to bariatric surgery from Holland, and everything in between, it's going to take to fight this battle. Even the more radical thoughts that we've heard today need to be included. We cannot exclude anything because we haven't won this yet. This is the way of the future, so hopefully we can see this come across and really see this information that we have here go to our kids and the new generation at a very early stage and give us that winning edge for all the rest of the work that we do during the life of a child.